It's story time. I'm going to tell you the story of how and when I decided to go bald. So, when I was in my mid 20s, I became disabled. And soon after that, I was having a really hard time maintaining my hair. Now, that's not particularly a new thing. I've always had a hard time maintaining my hair. But what was new was my grip strength was completely gone. So holding a hairbrush and putting it through my hair was a feat that was sometimes impossible. If the hairbrush hit a knot or anything like that, the hairbrush would just come out of my hand. I mean, I wasn't able to grip it as such that I'd be able to actually tease out knots or anything like that. So that's the way that it was. As well, I had a hard time washing my hair at that time. So you have the combination of me having a hard time brushing or combing my hair, and me also having a difficult time washing my hair. So it ended up just being a rat's nest most of the time. At the same time, my mom's cousin was diagnosed with cancer, and she had been losing her hair and decided that she was just gonna go bald. She was gonna go to a hairdresser or a friend, I'm not quite sure who, and just get the rest of her hair taken off so that when her hair fell out, it'd be less of a situation. And so she was gonna go through that process around my birthday. And so I decided the day after my birthday that I was gonna go bald. I told my best friend about this. My best friend is a hairdresser, and together we devised a plan that, my birthday party was going to be at her house, and what was going to happen was the day after my birthday party, we were going to make it so that I'd be having a haircut by her, and she was going to do an oopsie. And through this mistake, she was going to have to pivot what she was going to do something else. By the time it came down to it, I think the process took 1 to 2 hours. It felt like a lot longer than that, but it probably was just that. The people that weren't involved with the decision making were shocked because all of a sudden they had this person who had very long hair, and at that time I did have very long hair. My hair is curly, but when it was straightened, it was close to my butt. When it's curly, it probably looked like it was mid-back or shorter than that even. So they were used to somebody that had this huge mop of a hair, and this person's getting less and less hair and whatever. And so we go around and we're doing the oops thing, and we're gonna have to cut your hair shorter and whatever. And finally, we let the cat out of the bag with what's happening. And then everybody was on board. We ended up shaving my head, and I looked good with no hair, not gonna lie. And such that it was, and it was great. Fast forward a little bit. So that one group was super supportive and loved it. And we're used to me dyeing my hair and doing weird and wacky things anyway. So me going bald, not a big deal at all. And I went A few weeks later, I was hanging out with a friend and her group of friends. Not people that knew me well at all, but people that knew me with hair and now without hair. The people that knew me with hair, I remember they were giving me lots of questions because I must have done this because I'm ill, right? So their questions were kind of pointed in that direction. But when they discovered that not only was I not ill, but I had chosen this path and I didn't feel any sort of embarrassment or shame or attachment to my hair. When they found that out, I guess I alienated them or scared them or something, because all of a sudden they wanted to not be around me anymore. My friend was still my friend, whatever. And she was still talking to me, but I remember saying to her, I'm like, where did everybody go? Why am I alone right now? And it was really bizarre. And it wasn't just this group of friends. I noticed in my dating life, a lot of partners, upon knowing that it was a choice, I loved it, and I was going to continue to have no hair regardless of my physical abilities. They decided that was odd. I don't quite understand, to this day I still don't, why it's neither here or there if a man goes bald, whether he chooses to or he just decides to. I don't see how that's different from what I did. A lot of women go bald for a lot of different reasons. And a lot of women could choose, for a lot of reasons, to go bald. So I don't really understand what the difference is there. There seems to be an idea that a woman should be attached to her physical being, and that includes her hair. And somehow that is tied to femininity. I'm not sure if I agree, because I definitely was in situations where I felt very feminine, but I had no hair. I don't think that's a hair thing. I think in total I was bald for about 6 years. I was bald for a few years, and then out of just sheer laziness, because I didn't want to go get my hair done or whatever. I could go to an army barber and spend just a few bucks and get my hair done. And because a head's a head, right? It doesn't really matter. I know a lot of the signs back then were, barbers for men or whatever. And I would go in and I would be like, does it really matter? A head's a head. And do you know what kind of equipment I have? So anyway, there was a few different places that I was able to go. And yeah, so I think there was a few years in there that I was bald, and then there was a gap, and then maybe a few years after that I decided, hey, I really liked that. That was very enjoyable. And I went back. I don't think, in my experience, I had at any point a situation where I didn't like having a bald head. Yes, I needed more toques and whatever, but I wear toques a lot, regardless if I have hair or not. And in wintertime, when it's really cold, it's not unusual for me to put a blanket on my pillow and wrap my head as I'm going to go to bed. And I definitely enjoyed, if I was toweling off, that I didn't need an extra towel for my head. That was nice. It was nice to not have to almost overextend your neck when getting out of a tub or a pool or whatever, because you didn't have that weight of wet hair behind you. That was nice. So I know I got away from the story, but the story really, was just that event of people kind of getting weirded out of me shaving my head and the circumstance around shaving my head. It's morally neutral if a person is attached to their hair. It totally is. I am not here to tell anybody what they should value and how they drive their identity. Not about to do that. And I will say that if you're in a position, whether you're a man or a woman, where you are losing your hair does not define you. It does not have to define you. I'm sure a lot of people feel that it does. It doesn't have to. You are a complete person with or without hair. That is just an accessory to you. Leave me a comment in the comment box about what you think about hair. Is hair part of your identity, or is that something that you think can go or stay or whatever? In the meantime, I'm going to say goodbye for now, but I am going to talk to you later, and I hope you're having the best day that you're able to have right now.